Okay, before I decided to book a call with Veronica for Mastermind, I had been working in the same business for almost 10 years, delivering chocolate workshops. So all my delivery was face to face. And I had been thinking for quite a time that I really, really wanted to take something online, because really it was to do with home life. My husband and I were looking at changes, the potential changes. We've got 3 children. 2 had left home, 1 was still with us, but we could see that that was going to change. And so I really wanted a business that I could potentially take anywhere with me. And obviously most of my clientele that I built up through chocolate were very local. So for a while I'd been really thinking about what could I do online, and how could I do that? And I looked so often at doing stuff for myself, and I never did anything. I knew if I wanted to do something, I would absolutely need some help. There was technology, there was a sort of fear factor, there was not even knowing where to start. I had the bones of a course actually, but putting it all together and trying to make something of that was not something I knew where to start. I knew I needed help, and I also knew Veronica from the past. So I had a trust issue there for me, because if I was going to do this, I'd looked at other people, big famous, not that you aren't famous, Veronica, but big famous shiny people. And I didn't have that trust there. There was something a bit too shiny about some of the stuff that I thought it was a bit more fluff and not so much substance, where I knew that with Veronica it would be absolutely, proper stuff, because I really did trust what she had to offer, because I had tried it for my chocolate business in the past. The moment I made the decision to actually book the call was sort of impulse, really. It was a combination of all those things. I'd been watching and watching and watching for ages, kept looking at what the course was, kept thinking, oh, that's a big investment. Oh, am I ready to do this? And suddenly, one day, I think it was just, I cannot sit not moving with this calling I have. And I booked a call and said I needed to. I think Veronica and I were having a chat, and she said, do you want to go and talk to your husband about it? I said, no, I want to do it, bomb. And it was, I'm trying to think if there was anything super specific behind that. I think it was just a need to move on, and knowing that I couldn't do it myself. And it suddenly was, I can't sit in this indecision anymore. And bosh, off I went. Mastermind has helped me to get where I am, because there's a combination of many things. There is a confidence in knowing that if I get stuck, there's somewhere to go to ask. So if I'm trying something with my people on my course, and they ask me something, and you sort of had that fear that if you're standing on your own and you've never done it before, you could actually go somewhere and ask and get it answered immediately. There was the structure and the how to do things. There was also reviews of everything you did. So if you were writing something, that has been mind-blowing, the amount of feedback you get on things that you're submitting. It comes back immediately, it comes back and breaks your heart sometimes. No, not really. You think you've done something good until you submit it to Veronica and then realize it could be so much better. And do you know, that has been a brilliant lesson, learning that, you put something out and think, oh, I'm really proud of that, and then it comes back and you realize, it's not about you, it's about you connecting with your people and talking to them in a way of how you're going to help them. And I think that for me, having Veronica in my ear really helps, because she sees things in a very unique way that is so different to the way I would see things. Not saying that I'm not myself and I'm not authentic, I totally am, but it is seeing things and knowing how the online community works. So for me, Mastermind was so many things. It was teaching, learning, supporting, just having all of that at my fingertips to be able to go to and know that, however stuck I am, there's someone there championing you, whether it's Veronica or other people in the group, because that is outstanding as well. So by being in Mastermind, it really helped me because my business had always been delivering one-to-one and face-to-face and time for money, that sort of thing. It really helped me have a shift in terms of what a belief around it, if you like. It took me, I had lots of blocks about being able to actually put a course online and being paid for doing it that way. I got a bit stuck. And when I did, I think even speaking about it, I can feel stuck speaking. The words aren't flowing at this point. And that's because, you know, I put something together, I put it out there, and the first time I did that, it didn't flow in the way I thought it would. And instead of, you know, running away from something, if I'd been on my own, I think I would have stopped there and thought, this doesn't work for me. But there was opportunity to go back and understand that there was something in me. With Veronica's help, I know she did a one-to-one for me for this, and we really talked about what was going on. And she really helped me identify that I had a belief that I could only sort of earn money if I delivered something sort of face to face, if you like. And it was really getting over this and some exercises she gave me that started to help me believe that, yeah, I was stopping something happening, because obviously I relaunched and it all worked perfectly. So, yeah, I think that Mastermind helps you. You're inevitably going to get stuck at some point with a minor thing or a more major thing, and it really helps you. You've made that commitment, and if you've made that commitment, then you know you owe it to yourself to actually use what you've invested in to get you to the next place. Now I've actually launched something online, and I'm still delivering my first ever program at the moment. I can't tell you how amazing it is to deliver in this way. I think I had some beliefs that I would only be able to make sort of these super connections with people if I was in a room with them, and that is not true. I am just blown away with the opportunity to actually deliver what is in my heart and soul, which is to help people, you know, move to their next phase in their lives. And when it finally came together and I got someone booked on, I sort of reached out to some of the connections that I'd already made, and I just couldn't believe the ease of selling those first places. It just totally flowed. And I think one of the big things, certainly in terms of Facebook, is being so much more authentic on there and real, and also holding that space when it's time to sell, having the confidence to actually stand there and share what you've got to sell with people. It felt something that I don't think I would have ever done in this way without the Mastermind, because you know you're held to account. You have got a mission to sell something that is your heart calling, if you like. And it's sometimes you just have to be uncomfortable and think, oh, I'd never do that normally, and you just have to get it out there. And I think that support to do that thing and to stand proud and do that is so valuable, because on our own, I think you could easily think, oh, I'm not saying that again, or I'm not doing this. And actually, when you start your program and you start supporting those people and you see the ripple effect of what you're going to do in helping them and how they're going to help others, it is so much bigger than being a slight bit embarrassed about saying the same thing a few times. It is your duty. I don't know how else to put it. So it's so important to listen to the advice, and if you don't like it, do it anyway until you get more comfortable with it. So important. A wonderful and unexpected outcome of running my course is that I asked, because I set up a Facebook group for the first ever program, I asked my middle son to come and be an admin on that page just for security reasons. And unbeknown to me, he actually started listening to my webinars, and listening to the first one. And I was totally and utterly blown away that he came back, he watched it, he came back and said how it really inspired him. The first webinar is all about discovery. So really getting into some strategy of life and really understanding, you know, a direction and setting out a path for you to follow. And he watched that, and I couldn't be a prouder mum to have him watch that. And he shared his big picture, he shared it in the group, and he had such a brilliant vision for his future. And he said to me, Mum, there are so many people here at uni who have some brilliant ideas and just no idea where to go. And I could cry when I think about that, because to inspire your own child is just beyond anything you can imagine. Actually, it just fills me with joy. And that's another reason that if you have this burning thing to get out, you just don't know who it's going to reach. You can't always tell at the outset. And yeah, I am just and another anecdote, a very, very dear friend of mine, she is really struggling at the moment, and you know, is off work at the moment, not terribly well. And I just, because of what happened with my son, I said, please, if you have any time, will you watch this? And I sent her my first webinar, and she just came back and said, all I was focusing on was what I didn't want in life, and now this has shown me some ideas about what I might want. And she was just, you know, absolutely also inspired. So you've got to get your message out there, because you can help so many people. If you're someone out there thinking about doing something online, you can go and do it on your own. I'm sure you could. You could go and watch a million webinars and take forever to get there. Or you could back yourself and make an investment and get there smarter, quicker. Just know that you would do a better version, in my honest opinion. If it was me that had to try and do, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have started my course. I wouldn't be planning my next one. Not only am I inspired by all of that, I've got all these ideas for offshoots going on in a way I want to deliver online. It has really opened my eyes to a new way of working, and I know I could not have done it on my own. And I continue to invest in the mastermind group, not just for all the things I've learned so far, but for the support and mentoring. And also another thing, if there is something like a technological thing that I come across, because I'm not techie minded, I have shared that, oh, would you be able to do something on this? And suddenly there's a training session on something. So you know that whatever happens, you're going to get that support and that mentoring and that training to go confidently forward. And I just don't think you could do that on your own. So it was a scary investment for me, but so worth it. And I just think, actually, sometimes we need to back ourselves, and I couldn't recommend this highly enough, because it has got me to where not only I wanted to be or needed to be, beyond that, it has got me to a place that I couldn't imagine. It's just totally exciting.